All right, caught me cleaning out my squash. Now, check this baby out. It's absolutely beautiful, nice and cleaned out. It kind of smells like pumpkin. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take me a little baking dish and I'm going to sit this in here. Before I set it up for baking, I'm just going to show you a little bitty trick to make this nice and tender, make it cook better. I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to score this squash up this whole section because this is solid up through here, although it has got nice cavity at one end. This other section is completely solid. So, now I take my little pan, and you remember, see how this runs downhill? Look at that. That runs right downhill. Remember this little stem part? We take that little stem, lay that little baby up there, and look, it's got feet. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our nice sauce. We're going to take a little bitty ladle here, all right? And we're going to fill the cavity with the sauce, and we're also going to take this sauce and we're going to cover the whole top with our nutty, peanut buttery, curranty, nutty, it's like kooky stuff. Now, fill that up. You're going to cover the whole top. You want to get an oven hot. You need a hot oven, 400 degrees hot. You get that hot, you get this completely covered, and you're going to take and you're going to put this down in your magic oven, 400 degrees. Ooh, boy. That's one hot magic oven down there. And that is one delicious sauce. Now, let's get on with the next recipe we're going to do with this squash. What we're going to do is we're going to make breaded squash fries. So the first thing we want to do is talk about our hot pepper. We're going to use a nice, beautiful habanero pepper. This baby is dangerous. We're just going to cut its head off. We're going to leave the seeds in there. We're going to toss it in the food processor. We're going to add 1 cup of cold water. And now comes that moment we all live for. Garlic. Yes, ooh, there's my other measuring spoon. I leave a tablespoon measure in the garlic just in case I'm in a hungry kind of mood. So we'll put 1 or 2 tablespoons of garlic in there. We'll just store that spoon right in there in the jar. And we're going to process this up. All right. One dangerous top. Now, I've peeled the outside layer off of this. You want to have it peeled so that you don't have any of the tough skin, which this particular squash doesn't have very tough skin. And what we're going to... look at that, it's a tough squash. Stuff is very firm. We're going to cut it in half, and then we're going to take this and we're going to slice this into 1/2-inch thick slices. And be very, very careful when you do this because this stuff is really very firm and you could actually slice yourself if you're not careful. We're going to make breaded squash French fries. They're going to be outrageous. You will not believe how delicious these babies are going to taste. Now, I got me a large pot. I got some water in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and make these into cubes. Actually, not cubes. They're going to square them off, cut them in half. I'm using a butternut squash. You can make this out of any other type of firm, and that is the key. Firm winter squash. This is one type of vegetable that you want to have firm. Now, I'm making all 3 of these recipes out of 1 large butternut squash. When you get the recipes, you'll see the way I measure the ingredients, that you can use the whole squash or you can use these individual sections to come up with these. Now, I got these cut. I got this water on high, and this. Whew! Can you smell that in there, Freeze?
Of course I don't.
Well, if you could, you'd be a-crying. Because that is powerful stuff. Wash your hands after touching that instrument. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put this squash in there with that habanero and that garlic, and we're going to let this come to a boil, and then we're going to come back and we're going to deal with this because this is going to be wonderful, and we're going to make a great surprise breading for it. Now, what we want to do is switch over way out there. Oh boy, I think I got something on the floor. It's slippery. We're going to go to our shredding blade because we're going to make hot, squash latkes. Yes, squash latkes. You can't believe it. We're going to shred these babies up. We're going to cut them into nice chunks. But before, we're going to take, this is just the bottom half of one butternut squash. I'm going to take 1/2 an onion. You can use a whole onion or you can use a half onion, depending upon the size of the squash. You want it about 4 to 1 onion to squash. So we're going to take this, we're going to peel this onion, and you at home should rinse out your food processor, otherwise this stuff will be frighteningly hot. I'm going to take one long, slim red cayenne. Look at that beautiful pepper. Cut its little head off, throw its little head away, and I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to put my chopping blade in. I'm going to put my onion in, and we're going to chop this up. While I chop this up, you sit back, you relax, and when we come back, we'll cook with fire. All right.